Yes. Paul, you're one of, I think, certainly 3 experienced managers who've been appointed by teams towards the foot of League Two, all of them looking for a bounce effect. How big a bounce might you get out of your first clean sheet in the first win? But I'm assuming it's the target having got some points already.
Yeah, it's a good point actually. We're close, you know. I don't want to tempt fate, but we are close. I've seen some big improvements, you know, from watching DVDs before I come in and then looking at the games that we've had, the 3 games. They've been close games. They've been really close games, and I've been pleased. I've been pleased with the progress. But as you say, the goal is now a clean sheet and then try and get the win. But things don't happen straight away. You know, you can't go straight away to winning and keeping clean sheets. It's hard work on the training field. It's us trying to knit things together, get some real team spirit, get some understanding of what we want to do, and then take that into games. So hopefully, you know, we're going in the right direction, and we're going to go all out for the win on Saturday.
To the naked eye, to my naked eye, the team had a bit more zip in the last quarter at Mansfield. Would you be a bit cautious at this point about giving it that zip from the outset? Are you trying to work from a solid base first?
I think balance of a team is vital. So you need enough defensive-minded players and you need enough attacking-minded players. If you can get all 10 outfield players great without the ball and great with the ball, you've got a little chance. But that takes real work. That takes really, you know, organisation in the training field. And these are the things I'm trying to get to. I know, you know, what the requirements for a successful team are. And if you're playing with wingers, they've got to be disciplined. So sometimes you have to suffer that side of it if you're going to get somebody so raw like a Zach who is going to go and take people on. But I've got to try and educate him and the rest of them that the defensive side is important as well, because, you know, when you lose goals, it does affect confidence, and confidence is something that we're trying to build. So it's a balancing act, but it was great to see that we've got that zip, as you call it, because we saw that at Mansfield.
Interesting. I've heard a coach before say you sometimes play one side open, one side closed with wide players, and Rafa, in fact, last week was probably the closed side because he tied up that left-hand side quite well defensively.
I should have took you, shouldn't I, as a coach? Really? No. Yeah, I might try that this morning. Yeah, I understand what you mean. Yeah, of course, sometimes you can have a defensive-minded fullback. I mean, sometimes when you look at teams, they could be really good down one side. You know, you have to block that off. So it sort of goes hand in hand with playing with someone on the opposite side, really attacking, and someone a little bit more with more caution. But you know, I just want to get to a stage with the team where, you know, if we're going to play wingers, they're really going to go at people, really go and take people. There's no point in playing with wingers if they're not going to go and take people on, right? But at the same time, they have to understand that they've got a job to do. But as we go and as we get more confident, and you know, it's a tall order at the moment and a big ask. But you know, the good teams, the really good teams, allow sometimes their fullbacks to be 1-for-1, and their wingers to go and be wingers. We're not there yet. We've got to remain solid. We have to focus still on being hard to break down and hard to beat, and then add the attacking side of it.
I had some texts after the game last week, one of which said, the manager's selection shows he means business. So to that end, are you a horses for courses manager in terms of selection, or do you want to try and get effectively a consistency of selection with adaptability within that 11?
One thing, I want the players to reflect me. Okay, so players have had long enough with me now to understand that I want hard work. If I don't want to work hard, I won't play. It's as simple as that. I really have got that take on it now. And the players know if they're putting everything they've got into it. And more importantly, fans do. Fans can see it. Supporters come, and like I've said before, and I've said this many times, they pay good money to come and watch. They travel, okay, and the first thing they want to see, especially our Cheltenham fans, is hard work. You know, and if the players don't give that, and they don't try for every ball, and they don't put themselves on the line, they won't have a shirt, they won't have a Cheltenham shirt on, they'll have to go and get another shirt on. So the boys know that, everyone's putting in a shift at the moment, so that's what I want.
Have you looked at Portsmouth much? I mean, it's kind of impossible to ignore their sort of split in form. The away form doesn't seem to anywhere near match their home form at the moment.
I don't know, I think, you know, I want to focus on us, of course, every week. I'll look at the opposition. And Portsmouth, huge club, massive club. It's a big game for us. It's a big game for our players to go and play in. You know, Pompey with their history and you know everything that goes with being a Portsmouth fan. It's huge. It'll bring big support. So it'll be a great game for us. But it's one we want to make our fans proud that we can go and compete with a big club and take the game to them.
We've got a Portsmouth fan in our newsroom who says that you talk about wide players. Jed Wallace is, he says, their best player by a mile. I mean, is he somebody you say, yeah, decent player?
I've not looked. It's Thursday morning, to be honest. I've not really looked. Tomorrow's the big day for me, where I'll put stuff in the players' minds. You know, if you start putting stuff in the players' minds too early, you know, they start losing track of what they're about. So I want us to get into a position where we trust each other, okay, and we're ready for anything. I think you just got to be ready for anything, and the players working together, okay, doubling up in positions and helping each other. It's a team game, football. It's of course individuals at times can win games like young Zach did for us. You know, it's just brilliance what he did, sheer brilliance. But as a rule, if you want to win anything and you want to have some nice weekends, they've got to work as a team. So, wingers working with fullbacks, midfielders making sure they're shutting off any corridors into the front, and strikers working together. You know, so this is where we're trying to get to, and set plays obviously is big as well.
Is this where the Christmas programme starts for you? Is it this sort of 4-game run until the Oxford match?
Yeah. I wouldn't know really, truthfully, when the games are as a rule. I'll focus solely on this game for the weekend. There's been no mention of Christmas. Nobody's come and said to me, what will we do at Christmas? Because I think they know. We're training and we're preparing, we're professionals. You know, there is no Christmas. I'd love to have Christmas Day off. It'd be great, wouldn't it? And for us all to, enjoy Christmas. The only way we're going to enjoy Christmas is if we pick points up. And the only way we're going to pick points up is working hard on the training field. So, if I was to say, we're not in tomorrow, day off tomorrow, everyone would probably look at me and go, what day for a game? It's no different Christmas Day.
How far Stevie Elliott from being fit, do you think?
Well, Steve did a really hard session on Tuesday. He came straight back in and he didn't pull out of anything. And it was, we probably worked for 3 hours on Tuesday, all different types of football work and running and mobility, and he did everything. He really put it in. And when we went into 11v11, it was really nice to see him on the pitch, actually, to see Steve on the field alongside people like Taylor, and Troy and Dean. He's definitely going to add value to us. He's a leader. He's strong. He gives us a different way of playing. Okay, so we've looked at this week. We've looked at some different ways of us playing now, which the players are buying into, and we're all just sort of agreeing on what we are, get an identity, and certainly getting Steve back. He's everything you'd want in a centre back.
So selection-wise, provided no reaction to Tuesday, available for selection for the weekend?
He would be available. I mean, even when he was injured, he said, I think he's had to do a bit of that. Him and Matt have had to sort of step in, probably when they've not been 100%. I mean, Matty Taylor's been playing, and then spending time with Wezzo. And that's not ideal, so we've had to be really careful. Now Matty even is back into full training, which he needs. All the players, they need to be training. If you're 18 or you're in your 30s, you need to train. And, once we can get Steve back to full fitness, we've got problem. Whether that's going to be for Saturday or the bench, I don't know. But he's certainly, he's sitting over there. In both boxes, he's massive. And I know from watching him over the years, I'd much rather him in my team than on the opposition.
Great. Thank you.
Obviously, decision to extend the deal with Amari.
Yeah.
He's obviously shown you enough in that short time to show that he's worth persevering with.
Yeah, his contract was up in January, so I had to make a decision anyway. So, yeah, I think by virtue of me giving him 18 months shows you that I like him. He's in my plans. And the reasons I like him, if you look at Amari, he's not had a lot of game time, but he really affected the game at Tranmere, which I watched, and he really, really affected the game at the weekend. I know Zach got the great goal, but Amari causes problems, right? And if you can get players in the team that opposition have to double up on, you're causing problems, and Amari's one of those. I see him as he can play up top, he can play short, he can play wide. but he's got hunger. He's got hunger to want to be a player. All right, and that you know by the interviews I've done, that's what I want. That's what I'm demanding. He wants that. He wants to be a footballer. It wasn't about money for him. It wasn't no big long discussions. It was about him being a professional footballer. And I think because he's played non-league, because he's had to go and work and play, he understands how lucky he is. And you know that this is he's sort of, you know, his type is what we're looking for. And I think he's a really good prospect for us.
You mentioned he obviously had an impact, so did Zach. How tempted are you to throw one or both of them in from the start on Saturday?
Well, I'm tempted with all of the players, to be honest, because when I came in, I said it was a clean slate, which it was. The boys that haven't been playing have been working hard. They've been impressing me on the training field. We're getting to know each other. I'm getting to know their strengths, their weaknesses. You know what they're good at, what they're not good at, and that's how you shape the team. So they're all, you know, all the positions are up for grabs. They always are when you've got such a small squad that we have. But I'm not afraid to change things. I think we've got to be careful because we've not done an awful lot wrong. You know, like I said before, we've gone in at half time at 0-0 in every game, and it's now about keeping that, trying to keep that solid base, and you know, add some attacking flair in there to try and get the wins on the board.
Obviously, got Lee Vaughan back in contention after his ban. Is he coming straight back in, or would Jack Demon have done enough in that position, albeit a slightly unfamiliar one, to keep his shirt?
Well, Jack Demon has done enough, you know, but sometimes you get a situation where a player's been out for 3 games, and you know, if he can improve you've got to look at it. So that's something for me to look at between now and Saturday. You know, Vaughan is an out-and-out right back, you know, and you know, as a rule, I want round pegs in round holes. Jack is sort of in between. He can play centre back. He's done really well for the club, you know, for someone so young. So yeah, I've got a decision to make there, and but certainly if Jack doesn't start, it won't be for the way he's played, because I think he's done well.
Yeah, obviously, one other out of contract in January, which is Rafa.
Yeah.
Are conversations happening with him as well to extend his stay?
Yeah, I'm talking with Rafa. Yeah, so you know, it's not always easy actually when you've got the games coming up, and you know, and I've only been here a short space of time. I've got to be sure. But Rafa he's a responsible player, a really good trainer, and again he's someone I've really enjoyed working with, and he's sort of, Rafa falls in the category of, you know, where's his best position. You know, this is the discussion I've been having with him. He's done great on the left for us as a rule. Is that his best position? I'm not sure. The right, or maybe, you know, as a short striker. So that's sort of ongoing, but I really like Rafa.
Yeah, Kane and Rafa have been doing a really good job, sort of in the defensive third of that, and getting a really good team shape, like you showed at Mansfield.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And you know, that's the selfless approach that I want. You know, and Kane, you know, Kane can play in the middle. Kane did very well for Southend playing in the middle. Okay, but that was in a Southend team that was really up and running, and you know, able to have a midfielder to bomb on. So, you know, that's where you want to get to in the middle. I think when we saw Kane in the middle, and I thought Richards did well at the weekend. I said that to Matt in training. I thought he did well. We didn't let anybody down. But it was a different dynamic, you know, when Kane went in there, because he's so attacking. He's such an attacking player, but he's done well on the right. He's been one that's sort of been out of the picture at Peterborough, and has come in but I think, as you saw in that game, he's dangerous in front of goal. I think Kane, Ferdinand, you know, when he gets on the ball, you feel something's going to happen. So he's done well, and obviously Rafa's done well on that side as well.
Funny, there's going to be a big, obviously, away contingent in the ground on Saturday.
Yeah.
It's a terrible weekend usually for home supporters coming out. Do you want to urge people to come out and try and drown out the Pompey fans?
Yeah, that'd be great, wouldn't it? Yeah, that would be brilliant. No, I think again the appreciation of fans will never be put in second place. That's the priority here, and you saw that at Mansfield with the character we showed to get back into the game, and they really appreciated it. They really appreciated our efforts, and we showed our appreciation. And yeah, we'd love to have as many in the ground as possible at the weekend and over the Christmas period. You know? We know where we are in the league. We know we've got a lot of work ahead, and we need their support.
Did you have a good birthday? Was it a game on the birthday
Yeah,
evening?
birthday was all right. Yeah, I got a cake sent down from the people in the commercial, so that was nice. I bought the cakes for the players. Craig, our nicest guy, when I got the cakes for me, and yeah, it was Gunnell's birthday as well. So Gunnell never brought any cakes in for us. So that shows, what we're dealing with here with the players.
So he's dropped.
Yeah, Gunnell's got no chance. He actually come in really late and shook my hand. So yeah, but we bought them cakes. They bought us nothing. So they better try and bring us 3 points if they can.
Cheers, Paul.
Cheers.
Thanks, mate.